check out our new merch store at www.ShotOfFactsPodcast.com, where you can find our merch with shirts dedicated to each episode you love. Check it out today and support a Shot of Facts merch. Welcome to A Shot of Facts. This is your girl, Deja Renee, and this episode is a shot of financial coaching with Almi Yoloye of LiveWise Financial. So Almi is the founder and CEO of LiveWise Financial, which is a finance coaching service for working professionals. Now, also prior to LiveWise Financial, Almi has been working with various consumers over the past 7 years and has extensive background in management, consumer finance, baking, and payroll. So, Almi, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, just been relaxing. Honestly, during COVID, we're still in quarantine
Right.
technically. I literally just on the weekends, I do my podcast, I relax and try to rejuvenate before I have to go back to work.
Yeah, we all need that time.
Yeah. And so going now into finance, since are you a finance consultant or you will be called a finance coach?
Financial coach. Yeah.
Financial coach. Okay. So
Yeah.
what is the difference between a consultant and a coach?
Okay. Well, more so, I guess, an advisor is probably what you're referencing, like a difference between a financial advisor and financial coach. So financial advisor is someone that deals like with investments. Like you need your Series 7. There's a lot more regulation on it, and you sell insurance, and you have to actually have, you're regulated by the state and by the government by that. Whereas a financial coach, it's just similar to a money coach. So I help, my clients as far as like their budget, their day-to-day finances. So I can't give any like tax advice or type of investment advice. So I can't tell you like what to invest in the stock market or
Right.
how to change your retirement, but I can help you with your budget and help you with your financial goal.
Now, speaking of budgeting, because I think this is something that all of us struggle to stay on top of, especially myself, I'm calling myself out. What are ways that we could create and stick to a budget? Because I think sticking to it is the hardest part.
Yeah. So what I say, I always have for LiveWise, I have like a 4-step process for that. So the first step in creating a budget is to figure out what things you spend your money on like a monthly basis, right? Because we all have certain bills that are kind of the same that don't change no matter what, right? You have your mortgage or your rent, your car note, your insurance, whether it's, car insurance, health insurance, depending on if you get deducted from your employer, childcare, food, groceries, investments, etc. Right. So the first step in creating a budget is to figure out, what you spend your money on, right? You figure out what's going on because everyone has different things that they're spending money on. A single person with no kids is going to have a different budget than a married couple with 3 kids. Right. So, and the second step in that is to figure out if the current budget you have is effective enough for you. Maybe you do have a budget, but it's just not working, right? And then that's when you need a financial coach to kind of help you see what's going on and see how we can help you improve that. And with the budget that you do currently have, if it's not effective for you, you have to figure out also, is it helping you reach your financial goal? And then that's when you ask yourself the next question, like, do you have a financial goal?
Right. I was like, what is my financial goal?
Exactly. So there's layers here, right? So if you have a financial goal, then now you see, okay, this is what I want to, where I want to be. Is that budget that I have effective enough for me? Okay. And then so step 3 of that, I say if it does align with the financial goal, does it also go along with the type of lifestyle that you want to live, right? Because just like how everyone has a different budget, we also have a different lifestyle. Like I said, someone with no kids is going to have a little bit different lifestyle than, a single mom of 3 or like, someone who has, 2 kids or is married or is unmarried, right? So with the financial goal that you have, with the current budget you have, make sure it also aligns with the lifestyle that you want to live or that you're, currently living. Because somebody may want, a Range Rover, right? If you want to live Range Rover lifestyle, you got to make sure your budget aligns with that. Or if you're, okay with sticking with Toyota, then you also may have a budget that aligns with that as well. So that leads also to like the 4th step that I have, which is if you feel you need assistance now in having your budget that matches your wants, matches your financial goal, matches your lifestyle, then we can actually have a coaching session together where I can work with you one-on-one, just like we have like a Zoom meeting, and figure out what works best, right? So we'll, assess your situation. We'll go through, what your current situation is and make sure it works out to what you want, right? Because it's
Right.
your financial goal, it's your life, and that's what I'm here for. I want to help people get to where they want to be, and the main thing out of that is also maintaining a healthy, or I say healthy or positive bank account helps as well. Because if your bank account is in the negative, then we definitely got to talk. Okay, definitely book a session so I can get you on track with your budget.
Yeah, I honestly think with budgeting, one of the main problems, even for myself sometimes, is living within your means or living
Absolutely.
within, staying in your budget, living within your means is one of the hardest things, especially as a millennial, someone
Yes.
who is always like on social media. You see all these people living lavish lives, and you think that you're supposed to like be this person or have this or that by this age. And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the hardest components of budgeting is just knowing, like, stay in your lane. This is what you can afford monthly.
Right.
Actually, right, just staying in your lane. I think that's one of the hardest parts. And
Yeah.
correlating with that is saving. So I think that's one of the hardest things as well too is actually starting to save money and not live paycheck by paycheck. But that's actually hard when your paycheck is literally eaten up by bills. So, what is a way that we can start saving more, or how do you feel about saving versus investing? Because that's another thing too. I know you can't really give investment advice or what you should
Yeah.
put into investments, but I know some people basically like to say that you should invest more or have your money flip for you instead of saving, which I think like skews people's perception of what actually saving is. So can you like explain a little bit
Yeah.
more about saving?
Yeah. So in regards to like investing, so saving can help in investing, right? Because
Right.
when you invest, like say you invest in the stock market, it's you're risking your money as well, and you definitely want to invest, and that's a separate thing. But saving can help you with investing because you need the money saved up so that way you can invest it. Right.
Right.
So that's where, I guess the difference also between a coach and an advisor, because the coach can help you save the money and then the advisor can actually help you invest the money that you saved, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, talking about the importance of saving. I actually hosted a webinar in September, and that was literally my topic. I was talking about the importance of saving, and the replay, actually, if anyone watching needs it, the replay of that webinar is available on my Thinkific page, which is LiveWiseFinancial.thinkific.com. So if you don't have a savings account, that's the first one. Go to the bank and open one today. Okay.
Right.
If you don't have a savings account, or even if you don't have a bank account, which is another thing, then go to the bank today or Monday and open one today. You need these. Okay, you need to have a savings account, you need to have an emergency fund. And actually in my webinar to teach people the importance of saving, I broke down what the consequences of not saving are, to help you understand, right? Because people are like, well, why do I need a savings account? Well, if you don't have one, here's what can happen, right? A
Right.
couple things. You can have increased credit card debt, right? Because if you don't have the money saved up to pay the debt, it's just gonna, people are just gonna rack up your credit cards. You can fall behind on your bills. Like I mentioned earlier, bills are a monthly thing, right?
Right.
So, if you fall behind, and you know how America is, they're just gonna pile up, you know, or if you don't have enough money saved, then that's when people go out and borrow, whether you're, borrowing money from a family member, right? Asking your uncle, your mom, hey, can I borrow 500 because you don't have enough money saved up? Or you're going to a loan company, right? Or you're going to a bank to get the loan for the extra cash because you don't have it saved up. Also, the consequence of not saving can also be lack of financial security, right? You're not financially secure, and that could be a real concern in the future as well. And one factor people forget about financial stress and not saving is it actually can bring health problems, right? Because you can get stress-related health problems because now
Exactly.
you're gambling, right? You're already living paycheck to paycheck. That's already stress within itself, right? Then now you don't have money saved up. And then let's say, for example, you have a medical bill or a medical emergency, and your insurance doesn't cover that. Now you're stressed out. It can bring health problems, or you're not prepared, for emergency. And the last thing also, that the consequence of not saving is bankruptcy. I worked for a loan company for 3 years that I managed, and I see it all the time. They take out a loan, they take out the amount, they can't pay it, and they file bankruptcy. And bankruptcy is not good. I understand, people have different views about it, but it does, stay in your credit report for 10 years. And it's just a negative effect on your financial health. So those are the consequences of not saving, and you have to really think about that as well, because we all have events that we save for, right? Such as maybe like a wedding or a new house or a new car. Some people save for retirement. That's why we have, 401k and IRA accounts, college tuition if you have kids, or even just medical expenses. So saving really, really is important for everybody in all ages. And I save even if you have kids, because I don't have kids yet, but I would start them out in like a savings account and be the custodian of it, so that way they understand why this is so important.